Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sears. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a treat.
That's right, folks. It is like a dream. We are having a good time here at the Rundown. I have to admit, things are a little discombobulated because it's running a little bit late. Man, when you're looking for stuff for the parting shots, it's like you just get lost in sometimes all the funny stuff.
Why did you have the microphone below the table? What were you doing with the microphone down there?
Nothing. I was just keeping it out of my face.
Oh, okay. I look like below the table, like you're making some new sound effects or something.
This
going on.
this is a family show, sir. This is a family show. Okay, no,
said
it's not a
sound
family show. It's not a family show, but still.
I said sound effects. What's wrong with sound effects?
Sound effects. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that one.
That's what I said.
Okay. Anyway, so how is the day going thus far?
How's your Taco Tuesday doing?
It is going quite fine. I have absolutely no idea what kind of tacos we are going to be consuming today, as I am not the chef for today's menu, but I am definitely looking forward to getting my eat on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do something with chicken, maybe some olives. I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going yet. Don't know which way I'm going yet.
Oh,
Maybe like a traditional Castilian Spanish meat and vegetable compote on the taco shell.
that sounds delicious. Sounds quite delicious.
Yeah.
I am sure that you are going to make that a scrumptious meal.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Excellent. All right, sir. Well, hey, just so you folks know, so this week is the beginning of not the beginning, it's just flat this week, the Gun Rights Policy Conference, which would be taking place in Salt Lake City, Utah. So Thursday, there will be no show. And then Friday, I'll be doing the show from Salt Lake City, Utah. So anyway, good times will be ahead there. We will be very, very interesting. I'll be doing some interviews with folks, a lot of the activists from across the country who are going to be traveling there to kind of talk about gun rights and policy. And I'm excited because I think there's a lot of stuff that's been going on since Trump took over that I think folks are going to have some really good things to talk about.
Should be a good time. Listen, it's if you're in the area or if you're can get to Salt Lake City, completely free to get in. You're gonna be able to watch 2 days worth of events, 2.5 days worth of events. They're gonna give you $50, $100 worth of books. They're gonna feed you lunch both days. And so check it out. It's at saf.org/grpc. SAF, that's Second Amendment Foundation.org/grpc.
Yeah, once again, it's a phenomenal event. If nothing else, you get a chance to meet the people who are on the ground fighting for your right to keep and bear arms across the country.
Yeah, and Craig. Yeah.
And me.
And Craig. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, let's go ahead and get ready to get into the business. But before we do, let's go ahead and start with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Make sure you check these guys out. They've got guys and girls out. They've got AR barrels. They've got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, and you got barrels of just about anything else you're looking for. Weird stuff they got. Check them out. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code to Rundown. It's all one word, no spacing, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And I was on their website yesterday They get some cool little extra stuff on there now besides just holsters. So make sure you check them out. If you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, security, law enforcement, paintball, survival, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Please take the moment and visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them those the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you are watching this program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, from across the country on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Rumble, however you are watching the program, know that if you're watching it during that time, you're watching it live. And we would love to take your comments, hear what you have to say about the program. You don't have to agree with us. You can disagree with us. That's great. In fact, it's oftentimes more interesting when you disagree with us because then it gives us the chance to mock you.
Oh wow, is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Yeah, it gives us a chance to mock you.
Mock you like we mean it.
Yes, and we will mock you like we mean it because, well, as I always like to say, it's for entertainment purposes, mostly ours.
Oh, definitely ours. Definitely ours. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely ours. You may be entertained by it. You may not, but we definitely will be entertained.
Yes, absolutely. I just
All right.
realized how bright my lighting is, and I remember we had a power flash a couple hours ago, so my lights have reset themselves to way too bright. So I'll have them fixed next time I'm off camera.
Yeah, it's looking kind of weird back there. It's like I don't know if it's the signal that I'm getting from you or something, but it's looking like there's a like some sort of a spirit that is back there behind you.
Could be a little bit of both. It's probably the signal coming through right now, but it did make me notice
Okay.
that the lights were so bright. So
There you go.
we're
There you go.
starting to get back to it. Well, let me see if I can get
All right.
below it. Just kill this, kill the aura.
Kill the aura, kill the aura. Well, let's go ahead and get into the news today. It's talking about mocking. Now, it's one thing for the president to go and kind of tell it like it is. And we know that Donald Trump is the type of president that will go anywhere, in particular into hostile territory, and tell folks exactly how it is. Well, Donald Trump wasted no time in his presentation to the UN today, basically telling them, well, yeah, your countries are going to hell.
America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And to limit the sheer numbers of migrants entering their countries and paid for by the people of that nation that were there and that built that particular nation at the time. They put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country, and now they're being ruined. Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before with different customs, religions, with different everything. Where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons, they should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Now, I got this article from Reuters because I wanted you, and you probably heard it a little bit in the speech because there was one real caveat that he talked about, but I wanted to see if you caught it as I give you just a brief description, read a little bit from Reuters, see if the part that they left out. It says that Trump tells world leaders their countries are going to hell in combative UN speech. U.S. President Donald Trump argued for lower levels of global migration and urged a a turn away from climate change policies on Tuesday in a combative, wide-ranging speech to the UN General Assembly that leveled scathing criticism of world leaders. The 56-minute speech was a rebuke to the world body and a return to form for Trump, who routinely bashed the UN during his first term as president. Leaders gave him polite applause when he exited the chamber. Now, there was something that was missing in that, Mike, and I'm gonna see if you, in particular, when he was talking about migration, right? And there was something though that was left out of what Reuters reported and what everybody's reporting on this when he talked about immigration. Did you kind of catch what it was?
I did not. I did not. Can we see that clip again?
Okay.
Just that brief second, or you just want to tell me?
Oh, I'll just tell you. It's
Okay.
he focused on illegal immigration, right?
yeah.
He's talking about the open border. So in other words, they're making it out like he's saying you should be against immigration whatsoever. And all he's saying is, no, we need to control immigration. We need to know who's coming in. We need to determine who's coming in. We need to get rid of, quote unquote, open borders. But everybody's reporting it as if he said, yeah, we need to just shut down the borders.
Oh, of course, that's what they said. That's how it works. And listen, you got the whole thing going on there in the EU with the open borders, mostly open borders, right? There are some countries that have decided against it. You've got, listen, we talked about it yesterday briefly. Spain, France, the United Kingdom, all dealing with it. Germany's has a huge problem with it. Italy, to Italy's credit, within the past couple of years, has put a stop to it, and Poland and never allowed it. Nor did Switzerland, and they're having zero of these issues. Craig, it's amazing. Economy's thriving, employment rates are great. They're standing up for their own defense. It's really weird what you can do when you have all that extra money when you're not taking care of illegal immigrants.
Well, and it's not just about the taking care of the illegal immigrants. It's about recognizing that, when you can control who's coming in, you can determine, okay, is this someone who is going to work to assimilate, to become a part of your community and your culture? Or is this someone who's going to come in and tear it down? When you have people just walking into the country, people coming in, and in places, especially like the United States, where our unique set of values is what has made us what we are. I mean, Mexico and Canada, to a large degree, have many of the same blessings of being in North America and the resources that the United States has. They have the same protections with the oceans on both sides. But it's the cultural differences, the individual rights and individual responsibility, the concept of free markets that has set America aside from every other country, not just in this hemisphere, not just in North America, not just in this hemisphere, but in the world. And these folks, if you're not willing to be a part of that, and if you want to try and undermine that, then you're going to screw it all up. And so, yeah, you need to control who comes into your country.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a story earlier today about Mexicans out of Mexico City are complaining that Americans and immigrants that went to the United States, however they got there, and now they're leaving the United States, going to Mexico City, like there's no Airbnbs available anywhere, and they rent them so cheap that they're like long-term, months after months. Now that the citizens of Mexico City are angry and they want the Americans to leave because they shouldn't be allowed to come to Mexico and enjoy the benefits of being a Mexican without going through immigration.
Well, what do you know? Well, but see, that's funny that you said it, because that's all part of the thing. It's like, look, every other country has stricter immigration laws when it comes to their country. They give non-citizens way fewer rights and opportunities and privileges than we do here in the United States. And yet, if we have any restrictions at all, well, we do it because we're racist.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No. But he's recognizing, and here's the thing, folks, for those of you who do not know, because you don't see it covered much in the news, there are major riots taking place right now in France. There are major protests taking place in Great Britain. There are protests going on all throughout much of the European Union because they're the ones that have been largely responsible. The European Union is for these open borders, because once you got into one European Union country, there was no restriction for you to travel anywhere. You could go and be anywhere in the European Union that you wanted to be. That's one of the biggest reasons why was it what did they call it? Brexit. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things behind Brexit was, look, you're bringing in people who, number one, are becoming dependent on our dime, right? In other words, they're dependent on our social services, and because the U.S. provides our national defense, we've got plenty of social services. They are, in many cases, either not working or refusing to work, or then at the same time, many of them are undermining the rules, the traditions, and laws of the country that they are now in. You watch it in country after country, for example, the number of rapes that have been taking place in these countries have skyrocketed.
Well,
But,
remember, in a Muslim country, women are property, and there is no crime as rape. So,
right. Not even messing with someone else's property. What's up with that?
Yeah.
You figure they'd at least charge it as a property crime.
Yeah, or animal abuse in some cases, but
Well, anyway, the once again, going back though, the point being is that these folks, you got to control who's coming into your country. And I get it. He probably could have been more tactful in how he said it, but you know what? I will take the ugly truth over a polite lie any day. Not everybody feels that way.
Nope.
Not everybody feels that way. By the way, speaking of the truth, President Trump has announced a very, very big truth, and that truth has to do with Antifa, or Antifa, however you wish to pronounce it. But it appears that they are no longer going to get away with some of the stuff they've been doing, because they're going to start to be held accountable as a domestic terrorist organization.
Antifa is going to be designated a domestic terrorist organization. The president intends to sign that executive order very soon, as soon as it's drafted, as soon as today, later this afternoon. And this is something the president campaigned on, because we have seen a rise in violence perpetuated by Antifa radical people across this country who subscribe to this group. And unfortunately, it's gone widely uncovered by many in the legacy media. It also went completely ignored by the previous administration. Not anymore. Not only, as you mentioned, were the bullet casings subscribed with Antifa mottos, if you will, in the heinous assassination of Charlie, but there have also been more examples than I could read off for you here in this briefing room today of violence from Antifa. I will just read a few. In July 2025, several members of an Antifa cell ambushed and opened fire on officers at an ICE facility in Alvarado, Texas, shooting one officer in the neck. Also in July 2025, 3 Antifa members were charged with assaulting a police officer during a violent riot outside an ICE facility in Portland, which for weeks prior had been under siege from the local Antifa terror cell. In February 2024, a transgender Antifa terrorist detonated an explosive device outside of the office of the Republican Attorney General of Alabama. In July 2023, Antifa members linked to abortionist group Jane's Revenge firebombed pro-life facilities and vandalized churches. In January 2022, a suspected Antifa member was arrested for bringing a pipe bomb to a pro-Trump event. In January 2021, an Antifa supporter threatened to shoot police officers and Trump supporters outside of the Florida State Capitol building. Again, I could continue to list many more examples for those in the room who don't believe this is a serious threat to American safety and our national security, but this administration knows that it is. That's why the president will be signing this order. And we will also be, most importantly, looking at who is funding Antifa and who is funding these other violent left-wing groups that we've seen perpetuate so much crime and mayhem across our country.
So now this was obviously a press conference that was done before he actually wound up signing the executive order, but the executive order has been signed. This report from CBS News: President Trump signed an executive order Monday labeling Antifa a domestic terrorist organization, though the move's legal impact is unclear. The executive order directs Trump administration officials to investigate and thwart any and all illegal operations allegedly carried out by Antifa members and to pursue people who fund such operations, like George Soros, or provide material support to them, like George Soros and the media. The president promised to designate Antifa as a major terrorist organization last week in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Actually, he did it during the campaign, although officials have not said there is a link between his killing and the left-wing groups. Now, Mike, we know that some of their sayings and whatnot were etched on the bullets thereby used by the killer. But here's an example of like the Democrats just pretending. See, they're going to pretend like they've always said, "What's Antifa? We don't know who they are."
It's going to be this executive order where they're going to try to create a new classification for anybody on the left who opposes Trump as somehow a member of Antifa and a terrorist.
Yes.
Like, this is coming. And I don't think we are fully now. I don't think there's any the problem. Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. I know what the definition of Antifa is, and
I know what the word means, but it's not
correct.
A group.
There is no group.
No.
And so, but what's dangerous is that by designating it, who's going to define who the group is? And if the Trump administration decides to say, you, George Soros, are a part of this group that I designated, and you're like, no, I'm not, and it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to then use that as some sort of potential opening. And I think that's what's so extraordinarily dangerous about these designations.
So, in other words, he's saying like the same people who show up, who travel from state to state, somehow have no jobs, but somehow have money to fly from state to state, engage in protests, have all sorts of helmets and tactical gear, that all of a sudden that have the money to all of a sudden get pallets of bricks that show up at these protests. All of a sudden, like, these folks aren't organized because, well, they haven't registered with the state, so they must not really exist. It's that sort of feigned ignorance that, I mean, they really think people are stupid. That, like, how do you not know that these groups? Do you remember back in 2016 the pictures from the convention, the California State Republican Party convention, where they were literally attacking Trump supporters, or the numerous videos online where you saw them going and attacking people on college campuses because there was a conservative speaker coming to speak? I mean, it's been going on for almost a decade, and you still don't know who Antifa is?
Well, under their same guidelines, Craig, there is no ISIS, there's no ISIL, there's no Taliban. It doesn't exist because they don't have a charter, they don't have a governing body. They're just a loose organization of terrorists that have been given their marching orders, their jihad, so to speak, told to operate independently for their cause. Oh, wait, that is a terrorist organization. I'm sorry, that's exactly the definition of a terrorist organization. Terrorist organizations don't go out and form a Congress and do a declaration of independence before fighting. That's what American rebels did against tyrants. But because they don't like Donald Trump, they're going to say Antifa doesn't have a charter, so they're not a real organization. Well, again, show me ISIS's charter, show me Taliban's charter, and we will have the same conversation. Otherwise, sit down, you idiots.
Well, and as you'd identify events and things that occur, actions that occur that are clearly, that are organized, that are affiliated with people who have been affiliated with other Antifa events, then you start to unmask where this money is coming from. And I will just tell you, we already know that George Soros is going to turn out to be one of the sources of those monies.
Oh, yeah. Follow the money, baby. Follow the money.
Not a doubt in my mind. But I'll give him this. At least what they're doing in this case, and this is what I'm a big thing. I'm not all about this. Find the crime, find the criminals, prosecute the criminals. Unlike what Biden did is find the person, find or make up a crime, and then prosecute the person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right. Yep.
Yeah, these folks. Anyway, I'm glad to see this happening. I'm looking forward to see exactly what what becomes of it, it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a number of years. And what I'm hoping is that we are successful. And for this to truly be successful, it's going to need to be carried on beyond Donald Trump's term in office. Because one, it's going to take a lot of time to do investigations. It's going to take some undercover work. It's going to take a lot of work to root out the entire network. And that's what it is. It's a network. It may not be a formal network. It may be a bunch of independent cells, but there is a network. There is a connection. There's a way in which they communicate and they get their values and their marching orders. And that's all got to be ferreted out, and it's going to take time. So that's why it's one of those things. That's why it's even more important to make sure that whoever the successor is to Donald Trump, that they are as committed to this as anything else.
Agreed. That's agreed. That's the plan. That's how you have to do it.
Yeah. By the way, talking about being committed, you remember the statement that Kamala Harris made about, and this was well before she was running for president. I think she was in the Senate at the time, when she talked about her support for transgender illegal immigrants who were in prison, and how she fought for their right, for the government to pay for their sex change operations. I mean, it was like, okay, how many left-wing, out-of-touch 80-20 issues can you put in one exact position? And look, the only thing she could have done or said to make this more whacked out left-wing is to, throw in, maybe they had to be Muslim illegal immigrants, and it had to be carbon neutral. The gender affirming care had to be carbon neutral. Those are the only other things that she could have done. Well, now as her new book is coming out, and I'm starting to wonder, when is this new book going to come out? Because it sounds like everything that's in the book is coming out before the book. So why would anyone bother to read the book? But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But now she is claiming that she has no regrets about standing up for transgender inmates. That's right. It says Kamala Harris does not regret her decision to follow her protective instincts by endorsing taxpayer-funded sex changes for incarcerated illegal immigrants. Harris dedicates a chapter in her memoir, 107 Days, to defending the now infamous comments she made in a 2019 interview with trans rights activists. Donald Trump's campaign turned the clip into a devastatingly effective ad with the memorable tagline, "Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you." Harris concedes that the Trump campaign was right to think they had, quote, landed a winning message, but she doesn't think the ad was the knockout punch that propelled Trump to victory. This was merely the, quote, conventional wisdom among pundits and middle-aged men who watched a lot of sports, she writes, describing a huge chunk of the American electorate that Democrats have deliberately ignored for years. Quote, "I do not regret my decision to follow my protective instincts," Harris writes. "I do not regret giving even more attention to how we might mitigate Trump's attacks." Her campaign's internal testing found that the most effective rebuttal to the they-them ad was to accuse Trump of lying and quickly change the subject to price gouging. Now, Mike, we talked about this when this ad came out. Donald Trump did not spend a whole lot of money on ads. The biggest buy, by far, was in the they-them ad. You can't tell me that didn't resonate.
Yeah, when you got a winner like that, I mean, you lock onto it. You ride that puppy as long as you can. She's trying to figure out. She says that wasn't the knockout blow. I think she's kind of right, Greg. I think her name being on the ticket was the knockout blow.
Well, exactly. It was the knockout blow from day one. Yeah. From day one. And if there was a second blow, it was, well, when asked, what would you do differently? She said, "I can't think of a single thing." But this one, I think on this one, she's so thinking about transgenderism that she's forgetting, and she's not thinking about all of this stuff. She's not thinking about government overspending. She's not thinking about the fact that these are illegal immigrants. She's not thinking about the fact that they're people who are in prison. They've committed crimes, right? And then on top of that, we're going to pay for them to transition to another gender. And by the way, when you pay for them to do that, it's a cost that never ends because they have to keep taking the hormones. And if they do the surgeries, well, let's just say that the medical complications from those surgeries are never ending.
Craig, she's standing up for, in this one instance right here, right, illegal immigrant rights, right, transgender rights, and criminals' rights. And when you put those three together, that's like 50% of the California population. I'm telling you, she's running for governor.
Well, I don't think so. I hope not, because she right now would lead the polls if she were running for governor, which shows you the mindset of the average California voter. Sadly.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Here's another one. This one we're going to run through real quick. Well, not real quick, but the gentleman who was attempted, the second gentleman who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. Well, let's just say in record time, I would say, he has been found guilty. And turns out there was a little bit of extra drama that took place following the reading of the verdict.
Let's go to Dana Marie McNichol, who's live outside the courthouse. And Dana Marie, do we know the timing of the reading of the verdict?
Okay, hold on a second. Looks like it froze. Let me see. I did not set the whole thing up. So maybe there we go. Now we'll get it set up and we'll do the whole thing. Here we go. Here we'll get the rest of it.
John, I just have a lot of breaking news in terms of the sequence of what happened right after the verdict was read. Now, it is quite shocking. As the verdict was read, it appeared to our producers inside the courtroom that Ruth tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. That's what it appeared to look like. Then 4 marshals dragged him out of the courtroom, took his coat off. They then shackled him at the waist and ankles, and then they brought him back into the courtroom. So again, this just in from our producers, as the verdict was being read, Ruth tried to hurt himself in the neck with a pen. Now we just saw that emotional reaction from that daughter, and now we know exactly why. So when Ruth was brought back into the courtroom, that's when her daughter stood up, started yelling and screaming. She said to her father, "Don't do anything. I'm going to get you out of here." This is what our producers are telling us just into the newsroom. She also screamed many expletives, and that's when we saw her run out of the courtroom. The video that we were seeing just moments ago of her not wanting to speak with the media, her evading the media, and then running off camera, as you see there. So just very, very shocking news. Our producers are still inside learning, hoping to get more. But after he appeared to hurt himself, he was then brought in by those marshals, John. So we're tracking this breaking news very, very closely and looking to see what comes next.
All right. For a man to contend, Ruth's son. Oh, yeah, here apparently.
Yeah, so basically what he was trying to say was, for a guy who claims to be nonviolent, why would he try to stab himself in the neck?
Listen, if I was there and he tried to stab himself in his neck, I'd make sure that the paramedics were there in 45 minutes or an hour, as quick as possible, to try and give him some care.
Gotta make sure they get there in enough time to help.
Yeah, exactly. I have 2 hours, maybe, something like that. What is with her walk? She looks. Remember the old video of Bigfoot in the woods, walking through the woods? She walks like Bigfoot walking through the woods. That's a weird walk she's got there.
That is definitely a very, very weird walk. Well, anyway, I don't know. I just think that it's interesting that this whole thing isn't getting much coverage, because it's like people want to forget the fact that Donald Trump got you attempted to kill Donald Trump. I mean, you attempted to kill the president. And
this guy's such a whack job, though. I mean, even defending himself and everything. That, I mean, this was kind of foregone conclusion. It was just You know, it would have made good TV, good circus TV. You know that this would have clearly would have had better ratings than the January 6th series that we watched.
Yeah, yo, there you go. Yeah. Well, I just think that a lot of this, though, Mike, is also the issue that the problem with a lot of this liberal and a lot of the stuff that they do and a lot of stuff that they talk about, it really does promote radicalization, because keep in mind, it's the Democrats who are the ones out there talking about, reacting with violence. They're the ones that are comparing Republicans or their political enemies to the inexplicable dangers and the downfall of society and the murdering of people, and really accusing conservatives of all sorts of evil, vile stuff. And it's as a result of that people think, well, it must be acceptable for us to go ahead and engage in violence against them. And I was watching Matt Walsh, and he ran off a list of the violent attacks that have been political attacks that have been engaged in by liberals against conservatives. And dude, it was a huge list, and it was only like 3 or 4 months worth.
Yeah, it's like all of them. Yeah. It was pretty crazy. It was everything basically.
Well, the only one that you could look at that was potentially conservative leaning was the attempted murder, or the murder of the politician there in Minnesota. But I'm kind of confused, because what I heard was it may have been because they voted on a certain way against the liberal or the liberal position.
Yeah,
I could be wrong on that.
They were Democrat politicians, and they voted against the Democrats in that election, and it was a supporter of the governor, Tim Walz, that was accused of the murder.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But anyway, it's just all of this stuff is just like, y'all don't get it. And once again, and then eventually it turns out, yeah, these folks all have mental disorders, or they all have some mental issue, which once again leads someone to believe, is liberalism, is it a mental disorder, or is it a symptom of a mental disorder?
Yeah, they think they go hand and fist together.
Hand and fist. Yeah, sickle and hammer.
Yep.
Hammer and sickle. There you go. All right, folks, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. This first one, I gotta be honest. I was watching Donald Trump speak, and I realized that I've heard this speech before, except with a few more expletives in it.
You win? You have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up. That's what I do if I don't have no army. I would fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yep. Same speech.
Same speech. Pretty much same speech. He just did it in front of the White House.
Yep.
Oh, well, I don't know if you've heard, Mike, but Jimmy Kimmel is going to be back tonight.
Who?
Turns out that Jimmy Kimmel, the guy
from the Man Show. The guy from the Man Show.
Yes. Yeah, his 2-day suspension, his 2-day paid vacation. I guess they've decided that, yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring him back. Although I will say this, at least, so the Sinclair stations and the Nexstar stations, the ones owned by them, which represent about 38%, something like that, 40, almost 40% of the overall stations, have said they're still not going to air him until he apologizes. But
the number I saw said he's only going to be on 25% of the stations.
Well, no, because there's supposed to be 244 affiliates.
Yeah.
28 of them are Nexstar. 38 of them are Sinclair. So he's only not going to be on about 30%.
Well, I tell you, I saw it earlier today. Said he's only going to be on about 25%. So,
well, however few it is, that's going to be a good thing. And here's what's being reported by our friends over at the Babylon Bee, fake news that you can trust. ABC unfires Kimmel for offensive comment so they can instead fire him for not being funny.
There you go. There you go.
And that is in essence what is going to happen. The problem is his show is no longer funny and no one is watching.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
I was watching a video and I realized that people are starting to wake up to the reality that that probably the killing of Charlie Kirk was on the left. They realized that it was a very, very bad idea for them, as Satan did as well. Once again, being reported by the folks over at the Babylon Bee. Satan, quote, "I've made a huge mistake," and it's a picture of the memorial. And I heard someone reporting that it was tens of thousands. And I'm like, no. It was hundreds of thousands of people showed up. And that's just the people who showed up there. 100 million watched it either on TV or via live stream.
The first wave of the line. Now, plenty of people had been there earlier. The first wave of the line for people to get there started at 1:30 in the morning. All right. And by 3:30, it was full.
Yes.
There was nobody else could get in if you weren't there by 3:30 in the morning.
Yep. But and like I said, when I was flying back, I flew through Phoenix. It was tons of people, and it was really good to see. It really was.
Yep.
And then finally, Canada tries clever counterterrorism strategy of giving terrorists everything they want.
There you go.
That just seems like a strategy of America's had.
I know you said finally, but we got Don Jr.'s impersonation.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. All right. Go ahead and stall for a quick minute while I pull that video down.
In today's news, let's see again, Second Amendment Foundation's coming up this weekend, the Gun Rights Policy Conference, saf.org/GRPC. This is all the movers and shakers, the policymakers, the lawmakers, and everybody throughout the country, sometimes international, that will be there. You'll have the ability to sit with them in the audience, at lunch, in the bar, wherever it may be. There'll be set up booths outside as well. You can mix and match with these people, talk to them, have your opinions heard by the peoples that making the decisions on the policies and on the laws that they put forward. That's Second Amendment Foundation in Utah, in Salt Lake City this weekend. Free to get in. Get your $50, $100 worth of books they're going to give you, and they're going to give you lunch for 2 days. That's Second Amendment Foundation's Gun Rights Policy Conference, saf.com/GRPC this weekend in Salt Lake City.
That's right, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, if for no other reason, if you are near there or you can make it on out, come on over. Just come. If for no other reason, come over and chit chat with me. All right.
There you go.
Come, just let a brother know that you watch the program. Let a brother know that you enjoy it. Let me know if you don't enjoy it. But keep it to yourself. Lie to me. How about that? How about you lie to me and tell me how much you enjoy it?
That's it. There you go. Like Craig's wife.
Wow. We're going there now, Mike. Really? See, he's trying to stall by making me insult him. That's what he's trying to do.
I'm trying to think of more things to stall. I mean,
I know. There you go. Okay, here we go. Got Don Jr. Bam. There he is. All right, here we go. Playing it now.
Than I am to shed a tear. I know this because I've even gotten the call from that guy a couple times.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Don.
Hold on. Well, we're going to start from the beginning.
Social media knows I'm far more likely to crack a joke or get myself in trouble for posting some grossly inappropriate memes than I am to shed a tear. I know this because I've even gotten the call from that guy a couple times. Don, you're getting a little aggressive on social media, Don. Relax. But last week,
good stuff.
That was good stuff. Now I will tell you what I told you when I first saw this. I'll tell the audience this. When Donald Trump accused you of going a little too far on social media, you know you've gone too far.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. It's funny. Dana was cracking up next to him, and you can see the president had a good time with it as well.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He's got a very good sense of humor. That even Bill Maher had to admit that he had a good sense of humor and was more than willing to laugh at himself
Yeah. Yep. Yes, he was.
when the joke is funny.
That's right.
All right. Right, folks, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, let's give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. AR rifles, barrels, and pistol barrels, any caliber you want. They've got a whole bunch of other kind of barrels there, specialty barrels that they make for people. So check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, web gear, law enforcement, supply gear, any kind of gear you can think of, just get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, visit our sponsors by following the links in the description to our program. And with that, we're going to be done for today. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see you mañana.